This man risked his life betraying Hamas. His own father sentenced him to death. And now at the Oxford Union, he just tore apart the Israel is apartheid narrative in front of the entire world. If you still think Israel is the problem, watch this.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mus'ab Hassan Youssef, for those who don't know me, but I think most of you know who I am.
Hold up. Please allow the speaker to make a speech in silence. Please show courtesy.
You can see how provocative of a person he is, because just by his presence, because he's already been interrupted before he really said anything.
I am sentenced by my father to death. He made my blood allowed. Why? Because I reported on suicide bombing attacks that targeted civilians indiscriminately. This is my crime. And guess what? It is not a secret that you discovered. It was my initiative that I revealed myself to public of what I did, because I am not ashamed of saving human lives. You should be ashamed for taking the side of terrorists. Also, I am not going to apologize for reporting Hamas and for reporting terrorists. And know that we will fight anyone who takes the side of terrorists. Hamas is a terrorist organization in the UK, in the United States, in the European Union, and it's not up to you to decide.
What's really powerful about him is, of course, firstly, he's a Palestinian, but number two is he's the son of one of the founders of Hamas. That's huge, and he's completely, as you can hear the way he speaks, entirely unapologetic in the way he speaks.
Sit down. Now listen, only Sheikh Hassan Youssef has the authority and the power to pull the trigger. Not you, not him, not her. Only Sheikh Hassan Youssef, if he has the courage to point the gun at his oldest son and pull the trigger. Anyone else who tried to do that will be dealt with differently. Now, how many of you sitting here want to teach me a lesson about morality? If you knew about October 7 attacks, any of you, raise your hands. If you had information about Hamas attack on October 7, would you report it to the authorities? If you do, raise your hand. Sit down. Less than 5% in this room raised their hands that they will report a massive terrorist attack that targeted civilians indiscriminately. That includes Arabs, Muslims, Jews, Christians, peaceful farming communities on October 7.
You see how brilliant what he's saying is. He's pointing out to them how, in a blatant way for the whole world to now see, this is all on video, that they will not raise their hand to say that they would have reported such an attack. And he makes a point of saying this wasn't an attack that was only against Israelis. They killed Muslims, they killed foreign workers, they killed anybody.
Ethnically cleansing 20 Jewish communities because of their ethnicity and because of their religion. What's happening in Gaza is not the same, because you are the one who's taken the side of terrorists, knowing exactly your role, and you are enjoying it. But at some point, you will have to deal with the consequences, because everything is recorded against you. Now, there come the Palestinians, the most pathetic people on planet Earth.
It's out of order.
Sit down.
The speaker is out of order.
Delegitimize.
If the speaker, order.
Who want to
When the chair is
delegitimize.
making a ruling, the speaker must
Shut
remain seated.
up and
If the
listen.
speaker repeats this again, I will have to ask them to leave.
They want to delegitimize someone who's born in that land.
A point of order has been
I
raised. It is
was
directed to the
born-
chair. A point of order has been raised. I have to hear the point of order. I have to hear the
Sit
point of order.
down.
Could I hear the point of
No,
order
sit
from the
down.
member? Order.
Sit down.
Order. It is
Sit
not for
down.
you to tell a member to sit
Sit
down.
down.
A point of order is directed to the chair.
Sit down.
Order. 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 Could I hear the point of order from the member for Senate Hall?
Then get out.
Order.
Just insulted me personally and insulted many Palestinians, and I asked him to be escorted out of the chamber in the same manner that a fellow student was escorted out of the chamber when she was alleged to have insulted.
Order.
Here's what's interesting. The guy's saying he was that he just insulted, that Mossab Hassan Youssef just insulted all of the Palestinians. He called them the most pathetic people on earth. What is the definition of pathetic? I'm going to read that definition to you. Arousing pity, especially through vulnerability or sadness. This actually is exactly what the Palestinian people are all about. Arousing pity, especially through vulnerability and sadness. I wouldn't say vulnerability, but through making themselves into a sad case. It was actually a precise word to be used for the Palestinian people.
Order. If this is repeated again, I'll have to ask the speaker to leave. The speaker was out of order. Please continue.
What? What? This house has been
Could I hear the
hijacked
point of
by
order?
Muslims.
Could I hear the point of order?
You
Could I hear the
are-
point of order?
You
Order. Could I hear
What
the point of
order?
order? Please
What
have a seat.
order?
The point of order is behind you.
What order?
Could I hear the point of order from the member? Could I hear the point of order? Order. Could I hear the point of order? Please state your point of order. 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 Could I please hear the point of order?
The Speaker made absolutely no reference to anyone in this chamber. He passed an opinion on his own people. Will he please be allowed to continue to debate, given how important his voice is in this conversation?
Order. 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 I have made my ruling very clear.
What is your ruling? I did not
It is repeated.
insult
The speaker will
anyone
have to leave.
in the room.
Order. Order. Could I hear the point of order?
Given that this is a speaker who, once invited by this union, was then attempts being made to prevent him from coming here to speak, and now we have seen that committed again in the course of this speaker speaking, he has a right to freedom of speech, he has a right to speak in this chamber as an invited guest of this union. To order him out as a result of the opinion he has expressed on his own people brings this union into disrepute. It is a moment of shame for this chamber.
I have heard your point of order. I have made my ruling very clear. Could the speaker please proceed without making any disparaging references to any population? Please continue.
This really is like a total circus, because when people have no facts to rely on other than to say that I'm being insulted, that's what this entire conversation turns into.
They want to delegitimize my right to exist because I oppose their violent ideology. Then they want to cry day and night of a victim. Please sit
Order.
down.
I have to hear the point of order.
Insulting Zionists, Israelis. Israel being a nationality.
Order. I've heard the point of order. You have seen a member being asked to leave the chamber before on a different side of the chamber. I have made sure that people from both sides of the chamber are allowed to make their speeches and that they're allowed to be heard. Could I please allow the speaker to finish without any further points of order?
Okay.
Please continue.
All the interruptions are not going to help the situation. You'll have to face the reality and the truth the way it is. I was born in that land. It's my birthright. And I was born, sit down. And I was born as an Arab. I was not born as Palestinian, like millions of Arab children. And the Palestinians have been pushing the Palestinian violent indoctrination based on false narrative of apartheid, colonialism, genocide, occupation. While Palestine never existed as a sovereign country, it never existed except as a colonial entity. And the joke on the Palestinians that they actually claim to be indigenous of the land, fighting against colonialism, while they choose a colonial entity as their national identity. How pathetic is that? I find it really unbelievable that the Palestinians continue spreading this lie, and millions of people around the world are believing them. If you ask them what is Palestine, sit down. If you ask them what is Palestine, they don't know how to answer. If you ask them what makes a Palestinian Palestinian, they don't know how to answer. Stop, interrupt me, sit down. We heard you. Sit down. Stop, interrupt me, and listen. Now, their strategy, and this is what need to be discussed here on the floor tonight, is the use of human shield and the evil practice of sacrificing children for political and financial gain. This is the mastery of the Palestinians. This is what they've been doing. They want the children, the Arab children, to continue carrying the burden of their sick indoctrination for eternity. Then a bunch of people come here crying as victims or as the saviors of the Gaza children. And I tell them, who authorized you even to speak on behalf of the children of Gaza? If you want to dismantle the apartheid state, he wants to dismantle the apartheid state, and none of you paid attention of how dangerous that. This means he wants to dismantle the state of Israel. This is what he wants to do. And that means the ethnic cleansing of the only Jewish state. Don't interrupt me and listen. What he wants to wipe out a nation, the most ancient nation in the Middle East, the most authentic nation in the Middle East, the only Jewish state on the planet. And he wants from the children of Gaza to do the job on his behalf, on behalf of his political ambition. And I tell him, why don't you go carry a rifle and fight the apartheid state? Why the children of Gaza supposed to fight on your behalf?
He's doing an outstanding job pointing out that the people who claim to be victims of genocide are the people who are trying to actually create a genocide, and that they are the ones who are causing the deaths of all of the children and all of these Palestinian children, because they want to pursue these political ambitions and they could care less about the lives of their people.
And on behalf of your righteousness, you are not the savior. This is a very severe state of mental illness that you think that you are the savior of Gazan children, because you are not the savior. And all. Now, they talk about genocide. Israel sent leaflets, millions of text messages. They've made phone calls. They give safe passages to people to evacuate war zone. While Hamas embedded under schools, hospitals, they did not leave any sacred zone for the civilians to evacuate to safety. Then they booby-trapped the entire area. And Israel had to send its foot soldiers to suffer additional casualty on the top of October 7, while they had the capacity to carpet bomb the entire Gaza Strip. If their intention, you never been to Gaza, you don't know what you're talking about, so sit down. After the war, What was the day? Where did you go? After the war? After October 7th?
Order. Can the speaker desist from addressing other members? Okay. Order. Can the speaker please be heard? Could I please ask the member from the Hall to desist? Please conclude your speech.
Israel did, for those who are here to listen, by the way, it's very, very important. And I will remind you at some point in the future, when we look back at this time of confusion and the push of the Palestinian violent indoctrination, they are going to hit a dead end eventually. But here, let me be a witness to history and to you. Israel did everything within their ability to minimize the civilian casualty in Gaza. While Hamas did everything in their ability to maximize the civilian casualty.
The speaker will be heard.
Hamas did everything within their ability to maximize the civilian casualty for political and financial gain, for global sympathy, and they succeeded of fooling so many people. But this is not going to change the reality on the ground, because Hamas does not care for the Arab children. Hamas does not care for the Jewish children. Arabs and Jews, yes, your insults can challenge or defy my truth. Arabs and Jews can get along. I have faith in that. Arabs, we are an ethnic group. We were way before Islam came to the region. We were way before the Palestinians came to the region. And by the way, the Palestinian history started in 1964 with the keffiyeh and the Palestinian flag. This is their heritage. That's all they have. And we are not Palestinians. We are Arabs. This is our language. This is our culture. And we will continue way after the Palestinian thugs who came to hijack our society with their sick indoctrination and victim narrative.
Key point, victim narrative. If you pay close attention to everything everyone discusses, you will see that everyone on the side of the Palestinians, victims, victims, victims.
The victim narrative. This is not representing who we are. We are resilient. We don't accept to be victims. Israel will be our strategic friend. And we will get along. Kurds, Jews, Arabs, Druze, and the rest of the region. And I hope that the Palestinians will know their place in history, nothing but a false identity. This is who they are, and this is how they are going to end.
Order.
He's a phenomenal and is making a very, very important point over here. And he's differentiating Palestinians from Arabs and pointing out that this whole Palestinian narrative is an invention that started in 1964. It's a PLO invention. It's an identity invention. And when we buy into false narratives, we start creating major problems. And the world buying into the Palestinian narrative is what is preventing us from actually getting to a solution. And like he says, it is possible for Arabs to live in peace with Israelis, with Jews. We see that 20% of Israel is made up of Arabs. But there has to be the end of the lies, the end of the indoctrination, the end of the education that's being given in Gaza and by the Palestinian Authority of calling Jews monkeys, and how that one day we are going to take over Israel and wipe them out.